Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. So we're wrapping up week 11 and you guys, I gotta be honest, it's very similar to week 9 and week 10. It kind of seems that when I crossed over to being 3 months post-op, that everything just started feeling normal, if that makes any sense. I know I had surgery, but I don't feel like I'm living post-operatively anymore. I really know how to read my body. When something's off and something's funky, I know how to adjust and figure out, what's going on, and just being a little bit more in tune with how my body functions on a regular schedule. For example, like in the beginning, you're really making sure you're having all your water in. You're having timers, you're making sure you're drinking protein and water. You're balancing out all of that. And when you hit weeks 9, 10, and 11, you really feel just this balance. You feel like you've done it enough and you know the signs. And I really feel like I've reintroduced myself to food and what food brings me the most energy, makes me feel good. Because of all of that, I have been meeting my protein goals. I put together balanced meals that I know feel good with me and that I know I can have, that I tolerate well. And it all kind of just works out. So what's really cool is being so in tune with your post-op and feeling everything and trying out everything. When you get to that spot, when you realize that it's just a habit now and you no longer have to really drill it into yourself that I have to make sure I have this protein. For me anyways, and I can only speak for me, but that has been the case in the past 3 weeks, where I put something together, I track it on my Lose It app, and then I'm like, whoo, I met my goals, that's great. Like, I know that I like these foods, I know that those foods go together and they make me feel good. So I just kind of continue to do that. And also trying out different vitamins this past 3 weeks. I was doing the liquid form, the Mary Ruth's multivitamin. I was doing that and iron. I ran out of that. And so I thought, okay, well, let's try a bariatric vitamin, because that's one thing I haven't really tried in a pill form. So I got the Izzylivinglife pill form vitamin, multivitamin with iron. And I think it's like vanilla flavored, but it's actually really good. I like it, and I like the fact that you only have to take one. I don't like taking multiple pills. It just, oh my God, I feel so full. So when I can only take one, I'm good with that. The chewables, it's the Fusion Calcium Chews, they also have a multivitamin. No, I've tried those, but that was just way too much. I didn't really care for the fact that you had to have 2, because they're kind of sugary, and over time it just gets really tiring, like that same taste, and it's not really a pleasant taste. I don't really find it good. But these Izzylife ones, I didn't get sick. I didn't feel nauseous. I do take them, not necessarily on a full stomach, but I take them when I'm drinking my protein. So I don't know if that's the same for everyone or not, but I really like them, and I think I will definitely continue to take those ones. Another thing that I added this couple of weeks, and I am dying to try it out. I tried it out when I first got it, but I haven't tried it out since. And it is a composition scale. Now, I'll find a picture and I'll insert it over here somewhere. But it is a body composition scale, and I don't know how accurate it is, necessarily recommending it, because I haven't had a chance to really use it just yet. But from what I did and when I set it up, it was pretty cool. It tracks all of your stats. So it'll track your BMI, it'll track your fat, it'll track your muscle, it'll track your visceral fat, and then it'll also let you know like what age your body is. Which is kind of funny, because I think I'm like 61 years old. But hey, it's a work in progress, so we're getting there. So I mostly got it because I've started working out, and I want to make sure that I'm maintaining muscle and that I'm not just like burning right through my muscle mass. I do want to track that process as I start to increase my workouts. That's been kind of new, is just getting that scale to kind of keep me on track with that. Also, I got an Apple Watch, which was fun. I really wanted to make sure my workouts were being tracked, that I knew how much I was burning at the time. Just kind of keeping myself more accountable for daily movements. And since I've gotten this watch, oh my God, it's like changed the game. I do suggest, if you get the surgery, like invest in some type of smartwatch or something to like track your calories and to track your activity. It's a really good reminder to just keep moving. And I really noticed a lot changed when I got it. And it's almost like a little bit of a game to me too, because like they have these little activity rings and you can see how your progress is going. So sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, just 10 minutes of workout before I can close my ring. I should do something. So it's been really good. It's been a really good motivator to stay on track with all of that. And it's fun. I think it's fun. So food wise, let me tell you about that. I haven't really noticed any food issues, especially now that I'm having like general food and whatever you want to have, just within moderation. Don't be naughty. With all of that, I mean, I can eat pretty much anything and tolerate it fairly well. I did have a little bit of an issue with cucumbers. And I was bummed out because I've been putting cucumbers in my snack packs. I was having a real hard time. The way that they sat was just it didn't feel good. And they would slowly start to like creep back up, and I'm like, what is going on? I keep trying to chew, and still I feel like it wants to come back up. So I held off on the like medallion cucumbers that I was doing. And what I ended up doing, because I love cucumbers, was getting my like potato peeler and peeling them that way, making them really, really thin. And if you go on to my Instagram, you'll see I made some little pinwheels, and I just put the cucumber inside of that and very thin with some ham. And I usually use cream cheese, but I didn't have any. So I used the Laughing Cow Swiss cheese. And oh my God, guys, these are so stinking good. It's just a yummy, yummy lunch, and it's like 29 grams of protein. So I suggest that. But when I peeled the cucumber that way and put that in my wrap, it was perfect. So yay, I can still eat cucumbers. But there has really been nothing that I can't eat. And I think that is a good mention, is that now if you go into this stage of just general diet, you can try and eat whatever you want, is to really keep in mind it is within moderation. And I know we all have the restrictions still, and my restriction still definitely works very well. But you really start to realize that there are foods that slide right through that restriction, and they could be the naughtiest of the naughtiest foods. We went camping, and I love doing s'mores when we go camping, but I knew that wasn't really a good idea. So I tried to put together like this clever way of getting s'mores, just kind of like a semi-healthy version of it. And I ended up getting little Teddy Grahams, like the little small animal cracker Teddy Graham cookies. And I got chocolate hummus. And yes, they make that. Dark chocolate hummus I got it at Walmart. And then I got bananas. And I just like sliced the bananas and dipped a little bit of hummus on it, and then plopped a little Teddy Graham on top. And that was kind of our s'mores. So I will tell you, even though it was like a light version of a s'more, those bad boys, you can eat several and they'll just slide on down. The restriction does not stop that at all, especially the Teddy Grahams. I mean, they just turn into like mush, and then that is it. So really make sure, you're aware of those slider foods, and if the slider foods are good decisions or if they're bad decisions, and just kind of adjusting. I mean, I'm still gonna have, some crackers or a little Teddy Graham. I'm not afraid of that. But it's just the fact that it can get carried away. Like, you can have several and not even realize that you've had several. So Thankfully we portioned all of those out. We actually made what we needed and then put the rest away. So that worked out pretty well. So I'll share a couple of like things that have been my favorites to eat, and one being that little wrap that I just told you about. It's just a low carb mission wrap, and I put a Laughing Cow, or you can put cream cheese on it, and then a couple of slices of ham, and then those shreds of cucumber, and roll it up, slice it, and it's delicious and very high protein. And then another like dinner that I've been loving is taco bowls over cottage cheese. So I make a taco mixture. I'll put black beans inside of it. I'll do peppers inside, onions, and cilantro. And I will make that little meat mixture, and I'll put it on top of some cottage cheese. And then if you want cheese on top of that, put cheese. We'll do a little dollop of guacamole or sour cream if you want that. Little salsa you can put over it. Oh my God, salivating. It's just so good. And that is packed with protein. Because you got your taco meat, you got your cottage cheese, and it is yummy. Added little healthy fats, those little guacamole or dices of avocado. So that's been a really good favorite dinner that I've been having. I can probably eat 4 ounces, sometimes a little more, depending on what that food is for a meal. And usually in the mornings though, I can probably have 2 to 3 ounces of food. And then a snack would have to be something light, like a string cheese or a little, pepperoni stick, or a couple of things of nuts or something. Another thing to mention is the restriction. So I would say each meal, and I would have 2 good meals a day. Basically what I'm able to eat and how much I'm able to eat right now is in the morning I'll have a protein shake, and that's usually about 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I hit it really hard with protein in the morning. So I do my protein shake, and then around 10:30-ish, I have half of a yogurt. And that puts me pretty good until lunch, which is around 12. And then 12, I'll have between 3 and 4 ounces of food. Usually I'm pretty good to do 4 ounces of whatever it is I brought. And that's usually measured out. Examples, I would be like eating tuna salad, or whatever I had the night before. I might take a little, 4 ounce container of my leftovers. And that would just be like meat and veggies or something. So I'll do my lunch, and that would be the 4 ounces of food. And then around like 2:30, I have another snack, which is either the other half of my yogurt, or I'll have a little thing of cheese. And right before I go home, which is around 4 o'clock, I want a little something while I'm in the car. And that's usually like a couple of nuts, a couple of berries. It's usually something like that, like something really small and just kind of quick. And then when I get home, I just cook dinner. And dinner's usually done around 6:30-ish. And at that time, I'm pretty good to have another 4 ounces of food. What I've noticed is around like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I need one more thing of protein. So that will either be like a little beef stick or a couple of nuts. So that is kind of like my everyday now. And what I end up hitting is very close to 1,000 calories. It's not quite there. I end up around 800, but I rarely get to like 820 something. I am getting better. I'm really trying. I got a cookbook that is a clean keto cookbook. Now I'm not going keto, but I do like some of their recipes because they are very high in healthy fats, and that increases the calories. So I'm thinking of grabbing a couple of those meals and just adding them to my routine to kind of see how that looks. And so far this next week, I have everything ready for that. So I'll be sharing with you how that's going and if I'm able to meet that 1,000 calories. But right now I'm sitting at like 820 something. And then as far as protein goes, I usually hit around 80, maybe a little bit over 80. And you know, we're good. Carbs are still pretty down for the most part. Any carb that I get, it's usually coming from a vegetable or a fruit. So that's kind of how everything has been for me. And it's just kind of turned into this normal routine, and it feels really, really good. And I'm just kind of coasting along at this point. I am just still being aware of what I'm eating. I'm still tracking. I don't think I'll stop tracking anytime soon. Plus, when I go to my dietitian appointments, she does like to know what I'm eating, and it's just helpful for me to show her on my Lose It app. So that's pretty much how week 11 has been. I will see you in the next video, and I will remember to do a what I eat in a day so that you can actually see some of the food I make. All right, guys, I will see you. Enjoy these pictures. Bye-bye.